I would like to read now the 6 guidelines that I want for men and for women. 6 each. 6 for men, 6 for women, if that feels comfortable for you. The things
Let's
that
try it.
And again, some of these are going to be a little delicate. We've talked about the most delicate ones, but there's another couple ones in here that may be delicate. Here are the 6 things that men need to know and do if they're going to have success in this new reality.
Good.
Okay? And the first thing is, we talked about it, times are changing. So I'll say it one more time. Times are changing. And there's a cultural shift happening in this country, as we spoke about. It will no longer be acceptable to mistreat or marginalize women. The time has come to support and embrace women as equal partners. That's the first one. The second one.
I give you an amen on that one.
Okay. Just because you're attracted to a woman does not give you license to engage her in any way. You are responsible for expressing your interest in an appropriate way, if at all. So just because you guys are moved by a woman's grace or her presence or her beauty does not give you license to do anything about it. Okay? 3, the consequences of you touching a woman without her consent can cost you your job, your career, and your reputation in the community. And guys, that's just the truth now. Think really long and hard before you do that.
Thank you. Very good.
4, it may be advisable to seek interpersonal relationships outside of your workplace. I know that love's a compelling thing, but dating within the company is fraught with risk. There's approximately 3.5 billion women in the world, gentlemen. You can probably find one outside your company. Second to last, alcohol and drugs impede your ability to make good decisions when interacting with women at work or in your personal life. A lot of the problems we're hearing, that producer from 60 Minutes, brilliant guy, wonderful guy, but at the company meetings he got soused and he made inappropriate comments and touching with women. Alcohol and good things don't necessarily go together most of the time.
Right.
The last one is obviously the most important. Make sure that any sexual contact between you and a woman is with the absolute, expressed, and deliberate consent of your partners, or your partner. And for young men, hearing this, each step, would you be okay if I kissed you? Are you comfortable with me hugging you? Are you okay?
Ew. No, I don't think you have to go that far.
All right. Well, I'm just saying.
But I like
as a practice,
I like that you're going that extreme. To me,
you go to the extremes, they can find a balance. But
right.
Are you comfortable with me giving you a hug? Do you want to come back to my place? Are you sure? Once you're at the home, listen, this is my vision of what's going to unfold tonight. Are you in agreement with that? Or do you feel comfortable with that? You have to ask for consent along the way until you have a relationship, and then it's implied. And that's my input to young men to stay out of trouble.
I think that is beautiful. And I think I can just think of one guy, God bless him, the only guy that ever asked.
Turned you off.
I was like, oh, so sorry. Ew, no. Now that you ask, and what a difficult situation to be in. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Well, Kelly, if I may, you just stumbled on the great paradox now.
Yes.
Men that are polite and are gentlemen and that ask permission are oftentimes seen as not manly and not worthy of engaging, and that's one thing that have to change.
But there's something about, okay, and now this is, I know it's a slippery slope, it's a fine line, but it feels like the ideal way is to be intuitive and be instinctive and be in, like,
well, that would be ideal, wouldn't
when
it?
a woman is attracted, she lets you know. I mean, and then how are you supposed to know? Because
and especially young women aren't that sophisticated.
And
but here's
because I know men pick up signals. I mean, if you smile, they're like, "Oh, she wants to screw me." It's like, no, I was just being friendly.
So here's where I think this is heading. This is my last message to men. We are going to be called to go back into an era of being a gentleman. And so
that's not the worst thing.
No, it's not. And so by being a gentleman, you're going to maybe take it a lot slower. You're going to be a little bit more aware of what's happening in the moment, and you're going to ask for permission. And you have to deal with the consequences.
Err on the side of asking
Err on the
permission.
side of safety, because that's what gentlemen do.
And I think that then we women have to elevate.
The 6 things that I think women need to know and do are this. First of all, we talked about this. They need to know that the overwhelming majority of men are good, decent people who want to support, be respectful of women.
Amen.
2, they have the ability to set firm, appropriate boundaries with men at work and in their personal life, and know that it will yield enormous benefits. That's 2. 3, they know the best way to deal with inappropriate behavior of any kind is in the moment, and they are timely in their response.
Or as close to the moment as you possibly can. I think it's better, it's healthier for women to respond as close to real time as possible.
Fair enough. 4, they make discerning choices about their attire and how they communicate, knowing it will head off many potential problems. Now, I'm not saying that women invite rape by their attire.
Correct.
I'm simply saying, when I spoke to my clients, when I taught an organizational savvy class, which is high integrity corporate politics, I told my female attendees that if you wear anything that takes men's attention off what you're saying, it's a distraction. So dress appropriately at work. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And just as the little aside, and I'll give credit to Aspen Mattis, who said this: clothes don't cause rape, location doesn't cause rape, rapists cause rape. However, if you're going to be taken seriously, you can do everything that's within your realm of your control your controllables, as my friend Steve Allen would say.
I like that.
So, and some of that has to do with what you're wearing and how you present yourself.
Beautiful. Now, this one may be awkward for many women, but it's really important. In this new era, women will take the initiative to introduce themselves to men whom they want to meet at work or in social settings. This will become a necessary ability for women in this new reality. Back in the day, women waited for a man to approach them, which was the way things were done. Now, a woman may need to go and take some initiative. Years ago, I was at a party, and this very lovely young woman walked up to me, and she goes, "Excuse me, I don't believe you have my card." And she gave me her card, and she shook my hand. She goes, "I'd be delighted to chat with you if you ever want to call." And she walked away, and I was so flattered by that. And I sought her out, and I said, I'm actually involved in a relationship, which wasn't true. I just wasn't interested in dating her. But I thanked her for her incredible forthcoming. I loved how she was so forthcoming and honest. And I had tremendous admiration and respect for her. So that's a skill that many women will have to learn, especially in business.
Okay. So, especially in business.
I want to be a part of this deal. I want to be a part of your marketing team.
Correct. I agree. I think in relationships, the typical heterosexual relationship, and there's so many gradations, there's so many different configurations, but I'm talking about like the typical configuration. I think the one that makes the approach sets themselves up to be the masculine energy. So if you are prepared to be the masculine energy, whether you're male or female, then you do need to be prepared to make the approach. If you make the approach and you expect to then be courted, then I think you're cruising for a bruising. Like the woman, you said that you respected her. I would say that your ego was flattered, because it's flattering when somebody approaches, but you didn't, even though you said she was lovely, you weren't interested. I think because you're a masculine man, and I don't know.
I wasn't attracted to her. But I will say this, because I hear what you're saying and I respect it. I disagree respectfully, and here's why. I appreciate it tremendously when my wife takes initiative in certain areas. When I was single and women, I really appreciate it.
I'm talking about an approach, right. Like in a.
But I'm just saying, I think most men would be flattered, and I think if the chemistry was good, then it would be a good thing. The days of a woman sitting back and waiting for her prince to ride in on his horse, I think, are pretty much done. Not that it doesn't happen, but in this new reality, women need to start empowering themselves to go out and be proactive to create what they want.
I'm sure there's something in that. In my experience, I know the women who have said, I'm a woman, it's the 21st century, I can approach whoever the hell I want. They do it, and they end up being like, and he never calls me, and then he expects me to pay for everything, and then he doesn't treat me like a goddess, and he doesn't. It's like, because you were the one that pursued him. You hunted the deer. You captured him, and you're wondering why he's passive and why he's the feminist, because you are the one with the balls. So,
well, I think you're taking initiative away from.
I might be, but I'm just talking about my experience.
I'm
in my experience, and I've been observing this dynamic for a while, and I would like to say that I don't know personally of a situation where a woman has been the one to make the approach in a relationship. In business, that's totally different. And so the woman makes the approach, initiates the relationship, and it works. It only works if she then continues to wear the pants in the family. So, and if she wants to wear the skirt in the family, but she's the one that makes the approach.
Well, even the notion of pants and skirt is changing in our society, but I will say this. If you say that to a man, he approaches you, comes back or calls you, you say, I reached out to you, I thought you were interesting and I wanted to know you. I need you to know I'm more of a traditional gal, and I really want, if this continues, I want you to assume the masculine role. You can have that conversation. If women still want to be traditional in their interpersonal life, that's up to them, and I will not criticize.
And it's the Wild West, and we'll see what that is. But I think in some way, the pendulum is swinging, so it doesn't hurt for women to reach out and explore being more empowered.
Exactly.
But I'd hate to think that men are being so damn appropriate that they're losing their masculinity and that they're not going to.
Well, it's a blessing and a curse in all change.
Yeah, but we have to, we're part of those consequences. We have to deal with that.
The last guideline is this. We're asking women to be discreet about awkward work interactions because they do not want to complicate another person's life if it is not necessary. So with these new tools, as you assert yourself and take more initiative,
Give men a break.
Give them a break. Don't broadcast it. And then men will say, wow, she's cool. We had a moment and she didn't blab it, and now I want to partner with her.
Right. I can see that. I think
Okay.
that's awesome.